I believe that Velodrome is a sleeping giant. And why is that? It's because I believe that its native token called VELO going to the price of $5 during this bull run, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice nor a guarantee. But here's the thing. Velodrome is actually one of the best decentralized exchanges out there, but it really hasn't gained the attention yet. But I think it's just a matter of time, because if you think about it, Velodrome is a decentralized exchange on Optimism. Now, you may be thinking, okay, Optimism, it's kind of caca, it's trash. But no, I disagree, because Optimism, it's one of the biggest Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solutions out there, which is very impressive. Now, if you think about what that really means, basically, Optimism is something that allows Ethereum to be enjoyed while at the same time not having to deal with a lot of the craziness, like, for instance, the scalability issues, arguably speaking, of course. Also, the sky-high gas fees, that's no secret. I mean, everyone knows that. The Ethereum gas fees are complete nonsense. But even despite that, again, right, Ethereum does have an amazing ecosystem, so of course there needs to be a way to enjoy that, but at the same time not deal with the nonsense. So, of course, there's a solution much like Optimism. So seeing, Velodrome, an amazing decentralized exchange on an amazing place, much like Optimism again, man, that's a no-brainer pick for me. People like to say that, oh wow, Velodrome is caca, it's trash. I disagree. And the way I take a look at Velodrome is that it's basically like Aerodrome, but at a much lower point. Because think about this, right? Aerodrome, even though it's at a much bigger point than Velodrome, funnily enough, it's actually a fork of Velodrome, which is kind of crazy to think about, considering the heights in which Aerodrome has reached. But even besides that, Aerodrome is a decentralized exchange on the Base network, which is built in collaboration with, Optimism. And again, Coinbase's Layer 2 network is Base. So people like to say that, oh wow, Aerodrome, it's in a much better place, aka the Base network. But I think oftentimes people ignore the capabilities of Optimism, because Ethereum, despite its, drawbacks, I should say, it still has a ways to go. And I think it's going to go from here on out. You take a look at the Ethereum ETF, you take a look at the diversity of projects, the number of projects. It's only fair to assume that it's going to continue to prosper. So as that does happen, I think Optimism is going to go along with the ride, one of the leading Ethereum Layer 2s. And I think that as it does gain more attention, more hype, guess who's also going to go with that ride as well? It's going to be something like Velodrome, because it is on Optimism. So I don't see why it's bad at all. Now, here's the thing. If you take a look at the decentralized finance market, which of course, Velodrome does fall under the category of that, because the decentralized exchange does fall under the category of the DeFi market, aka the decentralized finance market. But even besides that, there's a lot of potential here, in my opinion, hypothetically, because according to Grandview Research, the DeFi market is predicted to be worth over $200 billion by 2030. So that's no small amount. I don't know why people keep saying that DeFi is done. Now, granted, is the hype kind of down ever since 2021? I would say arguably yes, but I think better days are ahead. So once DeFi, gets in the groove again, once fifth gear really kicks in for that, guess who's going to be there? To catch that wave? It's going to be something like Velodrome, and I really can't wait. And some people out there, they also like to say that, oh, wow, the DeFi market is oversaturated. There's too many decentralized exchanges out there. No, I disagree. When something is predicted, a market, again, over $200 billion, basically in the next 5 years, if you really think about it, we're nearing 2025. Again, if something could be that massive, I think it's very difficult for the market to become oversaturated, because, yes, there's Aerodrome. Yes, of course, there's PancakeSwap, Uniswap. I mean, we all know those two, right? Even despite all that, I think that due to the market size, a lot of these players are going to have room to prosper. It's much like in the world of cars, for instance. There isn't only just one car brand. There's so many. And even if you take a look at something like, for instance, Volvo, do you think Volvo has like 95% market share? Absolutely not. I mean, come on. Volvo has nowhere near that, but even despite that, it's still able to hire thousands upon thousands of employees. And also on top of that, it's widely regarded as being, a very successful car company. So, I think the same principle pretty much applies to the world of decentralized finance, because, would it be great if Velodrome had like 90% market share? Yeah, but I don't think it's necessary, because even just a couple percent in a market that massive, hypothetically speaking, I think is already great. So I don't think that Velodrome is focused on a market that's, done and over with. And I think that it still has a place. So I think it's still a great project at the end of the day. And if you take a look at Velo again, its native token, At the price of $5, I don't know why people keep saying this is insane, because if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would only be around $4 billion. I mean, are you kidding me, man? I mean, for instance, right, we saw Uni, which is the native token of Uniswap, back in 2021, reach around $22.5 billion in market cap. This isn't even like 50% of that. I mean, come on, man. This is like peanuts compared to Uni. Am I saying that, something like Velodrome needs to be the next Uniswap? No, I'm not saying that. That's pretty difficult to achieve, I think, because as of right now, there's so many options. But just achieving a glimpse of that, I think, is highly realistic. And again, a $4 billion market cap is over a 50x from here. So it's not like it's bad whatsoever. I don't know why people keep saying, wow, $5 is bearish. It's not bearish. I think it's highly realistic. And I think this, if anything, showcases just how relatively small Velodrome is. It hasn't really gained attention. Again, just going to around a $4 billion market cap is already over a 50x from here. I mean, just imagine that. Uni, it's already pretty much well established. A lot of fans already, a lot of hype. Uniswap is very, well integrated. We kind of want the next big thing. I'm not looking for the big thing. I'm looking for the next big thing. And I believe that Velodrome could hypothetically be that. But it's just a matter of time, because as of right now, what it is, it's just basically a waiting game, really. Because I can't control what happens to the price like every 2 minutes or 2 hours. I can't do that. The only thing I can do is just my dedication, dollar cost averaging, anytime earned income, acquiring, holding, and just waiting. Really, that's about it. If I start focusing on things that I can't control, I'm going to drive myself crazy, which is why I don't want to do that. And also, you take a look at altcoins as a worst case scenario. They've been known to peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. The Bitcoin halving event happened back in April. So around 18 months from then is basically around October of next year. Now, granted, it could happen sooner, but in my opinion, any way I view it, happens sooner, great. Sizzler time, going to Applebee's, happens a little bit later. Sure, a little bit of a delay, but hey, if anything, it's actually more time for me to accumulate more, so I don't really mind. Some people out there, they think it's a bad thing, but, around a year from right now, it's not so bad. Now, am I saying that I want to wait like years? No, I'm not saying that. Waiting like 2, 3, 4 years, that's a little bit too long. But just around a year, all I got to do is just stick with my strategy and just still believe in Velodrome and the decentralized finance market. And that's what I'm going to continue to do, because I don't want to give up. And you take a look at the Bitcoin ETF, that could be so massive for Bitcoin. The number of institutional investors just through the roof. I get it. Bitcoin reached a new all-time high this year. It had a big pullback, but then it's having a pretty decent recovery. But I think better days are ahead, because around a year from right now, 100,000, 150,000 for Bitcoin, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Again, with all those amazing factors, also on top of that, according to Crypto.com research, there's over 600 million crypto owners as we speak, which is kind of insane to think about, really. That's more than ever before in history. Some people at first glance may think that this is some sort of random number, but at the peak of the 2021 bull run, nowhere near this much, only around 300 million crypto owners. Now we basically have double that amount. I think this bull run could be so magical with all that taken into consideration. And as Bitcoin reaches those great heights, I think Velo, it's only natural. Also, other altcoins too, I think they're going to go along with the ride. So at the price of $5, I don't see why that'd be insane. And again, I don't think it's going to happen like tomorrow or next week. Around a year from right now, I think things could look so different. Could happen sooner, but you never know. But again, I'm taking a look at 2025. I'm really excited. Again, I think Velodrome is one of the best decentralized exchanges out there. It's on the right place, aka optimism. I think the future of the DeFi market is so bright. And I think Bitcoin has a bright future as well. So again, Velo at the price of $5 during this bull run, that wouldn't be surprising to me whatsoever. And I can't wait. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.